Denny Blanco, my man, how you doing?
You know the vibes. Your dreams have now been fulfilled. You are now rocking with the best. Like we always do at this time, it's In the Game podcast. Randy J. Cruz, Denny Blanco. It's a sad day today. I'm sad.
Before we get into all that, a very busy day in the NBA yesterday, but you can find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also ballislife.com, also youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. Find my man Denny Blanco on social media, Twitter and IG at Sir Denny Blanco. Find myself at Randy J. Cruz, RENDY, the letter JCRUZ. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for the program. Denny Blanco, you're wearing that Brooklyn Net hat proudly. You're a diehard Nets fan. I know we joke around a lot about the Knicks and the Nets and everything, but yesterday was it got a little crazy. First it was Steve Nash getting fired, or going their separate ways, whatever you want to call it. No matter what, he's no longer the coach of the Brooklyn Nets. Let's do this step by step.
All right,
let's talk about Nash. They are, before last night's game, they were 7 games in. They were 2-5. I think this is maybe his 3rd year as a coach. I could be wrong. Probably 3rd year as a coach for Brooklyn. And there's been injuries. There's been this. There's been that. A whole bunch of stuff going on with the organization. And Nash goes to Sean Marks and said, "Listen, I don't have the ear. I don't have their ear. I don't have their attention. It's not working out." And they mutually parted ways. And now Jacques Vaughn is the interim head coach for Brooklyn. One, are you more surprised that Nash got let go in general, or are you surprised that in 7 games in, Brooklyn has to let go of their head coach? You look very stressed out, bro. I listen, I get it. I hear you. It's happened to me before. I'm a Knicks fan, so trust me. I get it.
What's going on with the Nets has not happened to any team. So watch your mouth. Watch your mouth.
As far as coaching?
Whoa, shut your mouth. You shut your mouth. Randy, nothing the Nets have gone through has ever happened. I'm talking about in its entirety, as a whole, nothing. You can't compare this to anything else. Okay. What are you trying to do here? Your best player doesn't take a COVID shot. Where's that happened? Everywhere. COVID hasn't happened before, so that's unprecedented. When has Patrick Ewing ever said, "Yo, fire the GM, Scott Layden, whoever the hell he was at the time, or whatever, and fire Pat Riley"?
Remember Van Gundy left the Knicks early. Remember that?
No one said
it wasn't 7 games in, but it was early.
No one said fire Van Gundy in the summer going into the season.
Ha.
Ha. He said ha. Bro, these things that are going on with my Brooklyn Nets, the team that I've decided to choose 2 years ago, it seems to me that since I've chosen them 2 years ago, it's been nothing but a steep dive into the abyss of nonsense. Back to Steve Nash. If you were going to fire him, why not fire him in the summer? That's always been my question. Why are you firing him now into the season, a couple of games in? Did you want to not look like a punk because Kevin Durant asked you to and you didn't? You didn't want to look like a punk? Because this goes down to Joe Tsai, the owner of the Brooklyn Nets. He asked you to fire Sean Marks and Steve Nash. You could have just been like, "Nah, we're going to keep Sean, but Steve, you got to go." You could have did that. But the tea leaves are the tea leaves. NBA Whisperer, you hear that? You hear it? Ime Udoka. I don't believe in coincidences. I believe everything lines up the way it's supposed to when it's supposed to. And that's how these things move. Made a phone call. Oh, he's available? Interesting. Let's get to it. So, Steve, you get to enjoy your year. and we have a new coach. I don't know who that's going to be. I don't know if it's going to be Ime. I don't know if it's going to be Doc Vaughn, Salute, Kansas. I just know this has just been a turmoil. This team has been nothing but just headaches and straight up Tylenol painkillers every single night, just thinking about them. Period.
I'm trying to remember how many years was Nash there. I know last year, obviously.
4?
I know the year KD with the 3-pointer against Milwaukee. That was in the COVID year, but the following year, was he coaching in the bubble as well?
2020 to 2022. That's what it says right here. Steve Nash.
Okay, so it must have been the year after LA won the bubble.
The year after the bubble.
That, and then it was last year. Now this is year 3.
Yeah, this is about year 3. Here's a question, guys. Was Steve Nash bad as a coach when Kevin Durant was an inch away from taking them to the finals? Or not taking them to the finals, but winning that game to get them closer?
I thought Nash was a decent, pretty good coach. Now you can, decipher subs and this and game management, which every coach goes through that. But I think, if KD is not, if he don't have his toe on the 3-point line, they make the conference finals in 2021 and go up against the Atlanta Hawks.
And let's say
without Kyrie and without James Harden.
Yeah, let's just say you beat them and you get into the finals. You face Milwaukee, right?
No, they do. Phoenix.
Oh, they'd have to face Phoenix in the final.
Yeah.
So Milwaukee beat Phoenix, right? So you'd have been in Phoenix. Maybe you never know what happens there, right? I am just of the belief that it seems so interesting when the team is winning. No one's talking about coaching. Team is losing. Oh, it's coaching. Oh, it's Steve Nash. We got to get rid of him.
Well, then you notice because they can't fire the players, star player or not. They can't fire him. The scapegoat or the person responsible is a coach. Baseball, football, basketball. It don't matter what. If you're 2-7, I just seen, when the Phillies let go of their manager, look what happens. They go to the fucking World Series. And I think they're looking at this as like a spark plug. Like, all right, we got to do something. I'm surprised Nash even went to them. That's the story that he went to Sean Marks and said, "Listen, I don't think they're clicking with me." Usually, a coach is gonna ride or die until they get fired. He's like, "Listen, I can't do it. Go in a different direction."
He's supposed to ride with the guys that said we don't want you. He's supposed to look them in the eyes, get them to buy into the offense and defense that he sets. When he was literally told, we don't want you, you jive turkey, get the F out of here. Really? That's how it's supposed to work? It was never going to work. That's why I was just like, so he's just supposed to be asked to be fired in July. And come October, good old Kevin Durant and Kyrie, those guys are the best. No. The writing was on the wall. The tea leaves were dropping. And here we are. If they don't get Ime, the plan, the strategy was stupid, just to get, obviously more addition than subtraction, or subtraction by addition, whatever the case may be. You want to look at it. But Ime, a lot of people are looking at Ime and they're saying, why? Why him? You know why. He's a good coach.
And he was in Brooklyn before.
And he was in Brooklyn before. You got 2 check boxes right there, Randy. Why else?
My question to you, again, for Nash, do you think, even though he's not the greatest coach, we get all that, but do you still feel like he was, from day one, never had like the full deck of players available? Because we seen KD hurt, we seen Kyrie hurt, we seen Harden hurt, we see Ben Simmons hurt, we seen Joe Harris hurt, we seen Steph Curry hurt. They had a whole bunch of trades. They still don't have a big man. The roster is still kind of flawed. Like, he was like, all right, I gotta do with what I have, And if it's going to be a 2-5 record, or we're going to lose in the first round, that's got to be on y'all, the management, because you guys don't provide the team with the proper players. You can't win a series against Milwaukee or Denver or whoever with no big man. KD and Kyrie can only do so much. And if you have your star players out for a long period of time, and your key role players out for a long period of time, it's like, all right, what can I really do? You got to judge me with everybody. I have everybody in the toolbox. And if I lose, all right, now I get it. But do you feel like Nash wasn't still given a full deck since day one?
And since 2 years, you break down some stuff. In 2 years, I've been waiting for a full roster to judge. 2 years. Kevin Durant, foot on the line. That team wasn't healthy. Full. That wasn't a full roster that was healthy. They were limping. James Harden was on that team
because Kyrie got hurt.
Kyrie got hurt. Then James Harden got hurt.
And Harden
wasn't a full team.
Denny, I promise you, if Kyrie and Harden were healthy that series,
wasn't full strength.
They beat Milwaukee. They were up 2-0 in the series, I believe. Let's say they go beat them, they get Atlanta. Conference finals. You don't think they beat Atlanta and then at least get to the finals against Phoenix, and we find out if they win or lose? That could have been the chip year right there.
We can't even get a full team together. The following year, we can't even get Kyrie to take a COVID shot. So he's out. And now this year, Ben can't fix his back. So what am I looking at here as a complete roster? A lot of people, you mentioned Steve Nash. They asked him to cook a meal. He had no ingredients. Every time he tried to cook a meal, it was missing some sazon, adobo. It was missing a specific piece of the meal that's supposed to make the meal.
But on the flip side, people could still say, well, I get it, but you still had KD and Kyrie there. I'm giving you the advocate. Yeah, there's no Steph Curry. There's no Drummond. There's no Harris. There's no this. There's no. But, they signed TJ Warren. He ain't played yet. You know what I'm saying? Like, this piece is still missing, but the bottom line is, majority of the time you had KD there and Kyrie. So some going to be like, well, Nash, you still got these 2-star players, and you still weren't producing. Now what? So it's like, I get it.
LeBron James, D Wade, and Chris Bosh down in Miami, the Heatles. How often were they injured, all three at the same time?
How often what?
Were they injured? Were they often injured at the same time?
During that 4-year run to the finals, I think they played just about damn near every game.
There you go.
A little sprinkle here and there, but it wasn't like crazy.
There you go. Minimal injury, straight focus on the task at hand. So you get those three guys to buy in, then you just throw a little Mario Chalmers in there. You throw a little, Mike Miller in there. You throw a little. We can't even get the top 2-3 guys to stay committed to playing X amount of games for a year. How in the hell are we supposed to win games if we can't even get these guys? Yeah, these guys will give you 30, 60. Okay.
And the one part we're forgetting is that with KD, when KD was healthy last year, last time I checked, before he got hurt, they were like 1 or 2 in the Eastern Conference. And this is Harden was playing and Kyrie was still out.
And we had bigs. We had Drummond. We had bigs to actually get boards. We have no bigs right now. We have none. They had bigs back then. So that's why I'm like, I haven't seen this team whole. Like, if you said, okay, give me Draymond, give me Andre Drummond at the 5, give me Kevin at the 4, give me TJ Warren at the 3, give me Joe Harris at the 2, give me Kyrie at the 1, give me Kyrie at the 2, give me Ben Simmons at the 1. Mm-hmm. Like, these are dream lineups that I'll never see. I'll never see them because, like right now, my dream lineup right now, Ben Simmons, Kyrie, TJ Warren, KD, and a big. They need a big. You get those couple of pieces together, you're all right. But right now, it's just we have Kevin dropping 40 a game just to be competitive, not to win, just to be in the game. My man got to drop 40 because Kyrie. He has a PR problem.
Mm-hmm.
And he can say it's not affecting his game, but last game I saw, shot 2 for 12.
We had like 4, right? Something like that.
2 for 12. And maybe that's the Chicago smothering defense.
And they lost by what, 8? Less than 10. If he makes 3-4 shots, they win the game.
And maybe it was the Bulls smothering defense.
Could be.
But so I want to give them props and give them their respect due. But this is a distraction. Period.
Mm-hmm.
His social media journey. There's a lot to behold with that. Basketball players, professionals should not be allowed to use their social media during the season.
Yeah, good luck with that. Good luck with that.
As an owner, you work for me. So I can't understand why people are upset that I put up kill Ronald McDonald and I didn't give context. Why are you putting that stuff up, bro? Why? What's the purpose? During the season.
Mm-hmm.
So you're expecting these media. We're media. You're expecting us not to ask you those questions during the season? You're giving us ammo. You're giving us like dudes hitting their phones, the Shams, the Wojs, all the media dudes.
They can't wait.
They looking at their phones like, he said what? Media time. Put the pen. Hey, Kyrie.
And that's all that distraction. That's why Kyrie ain't do well last night. I'm not trying to defend him, but it's clamming down now. It's like plus Nash and Udoka and Brooklyn Nets. It was all about BK yesterday.
You're gonna have to really sell me a bridge, sell me some water in a bridge to make me to convince me that this is not a distraction for the team. You're gonna no, you're not gonna convince me. So when it comes to Brooklyn, they have a lot of pieces they need to situate. The main one is for me is obviously they got rid of Steve Nash, but
okay, let's talk about it. That's domino 1. Jock Vaughn is the interim coach for now. They lose last night to Chicago. Now, obviously, when you get a new coach or you change that, you're looking for a spark. You're looking for, all right, now we're going to play harder for this guy, or we're going to have the ear for that guy. And they were winning early on. They lost at the end. Now they're 2-6. They're 13th in the Eastern Conference. The rumor is that they're going to hire Udoka at some point in time. He's next in line and coming from that cloud from Boston, and it's like, oh man, it's like even if you have Udoka here, that doesn't really solve the problem to me. That might solve a few problems. That might make players play harder. You know what I'm saying? But the personnel that you have on the floor is still not complete. People are still injured, back and forth, injured list, whatever. You still don't have a big man. That's the most important. You gotta get someone down. Listen, there's a guy like Dwight Howard out there. I know he's been there 18, 19 years in the league, whatever, but he's still a big man that can block shots and rebound. Like, you don't really need a big man to get you 20 a game. You need a force down there to do their job. There's other players in the mix who aren't getting PT at different places. You gotta explore that. But until you have the right the entire 100% personnel on the floor, all healthy, the Joe Harrises, the Seth Currys, the Ben Simmons, Kyrie, KD clicking all at the same time, TJ Warren. All right, now let's do this. But you got to have the right personnel. It don't matter who's the coach at this point, in my opinion.
So many questions. You're 100% right. I think the health will take care of itself. I don't know about Joe Harris. I mean, I've never seen an ankle injury take this long to heal. My goodness gracious! Someone give him healing factor. Someone help him see Wolverine. Take his blood. Give him healing factor. Something. I don't
It
know.
was an ankle injury. That's it.
From what I remember, I mean, I'm sure people will correct me if I'm wrong, but it just seems like the injury is taking forever. And then you mentioned, is Ime a solution?
Yeah.
Or a big solution? And does he solve a lot of problems? That turnaround on Boston mid-season is not done often. The buy-in, it's not done often. And you'd be surprised what players do when they respect a coach. You see what Deion Sanders is doing in Jackson State.
Mm-hmm.
When you have the respect of a coach, everything falls into place from what I've seen. Period. So you bring in Udoka, Ime, and obviously he was on the Nets bench. There was some relationship. I believe, was he on the Nets bench when they went and lost to Milwaukee?
Mm-hmm.
Very interesting. So we've been through some fires together. I've also played against you. So now here I am to give you all the expert tutelage I am, and you can't BS me. I played before, and I'm from the blood of Greg Popovich. I'm from the blood. Okay.
What's more shocking to you? The fact that Udoka is even in the mix in general, or two, Steve Nash, and then with like a half hour, yo, Ime, pull up.
Well, yeah,
it just that quick.
But no, I think what happened was
oh.
What happened was they didn't, when Kevin Durant asked for the firing of Steve Nash, they had no one to replace him. They had no one. And Boston, I think, was like, we're not going to give anyone permission right now to speak to him because we don't want him to leave beginning of the season and start somewhere fresh. We don't want to give him that leeway. We want to give him, and then Stephen A basically mentioned something like this, which makes perfect sense. So one day, Sean Marks calls Joe Tsai and says, "Can I make a phone call to Boston?" Well, why Boston, you're probably asking. The best head coach available. He's the best head coach available. True or false? Is that a true statement, Randy?
Yeah.
Just my statement. Much. He is the best NBA head coach available, made available, because they had to make him available. Boston had to make him available. And now he's available. Yes. Come on over here. And there will be a conversation about what happened in Boston. We, the media, well, the general media, do not know what happened or transpired. There are people behind the scenes that do. From everything that's being disseminated out, this is not a criminal act. He's not going to get arrested. This wasn't anything criminal. So, in a nutshell, what's going on here is he worked at T-Mobile. They fired him because he had a consensual relationship with someone at T-Mobile. He's leaving to go work for AT&T. This is what's going on right now. T-Mobile was like, "Yo, this is a non-compete for a year." T-Mobile was like, "Yo, it's a non-compete for a year." Okay? And then I don't know why that non-compete got lifted, but it got lifted somehow. Mm-hmm. And now he's able to just move over. And what's AT&T supposed to say? We're not supposed to take the best rep that we've seen in forever because we really don't know what happened in T-Mobile. Like, they could do their research, which they're doing right now. So if they let's say they've done their research 3 weeks back, 4 weeks back, it's just a matter of signage and introduction, the plan on what we're going to say PR wise. Let's get that situated because they're going to ask, so we can be prepared. And if they're talking, if Shams and them is talking, they're saying it's a done deal. My thought process is this has been in the plans for about a couple of weeks now. This has been a plan for a couple weeks. It's not like oh my God, Steve was like, yeah, Steve went to them, was like, yeah, I don't have the ear. You think he needs it? It makes him look better. But all the tea leaves said the main guys wanted him gone. So say what you want about, seeing that you didn't have their ear. Yeah, we all saw that, big bro. We also saw that, big bro. When Kyrie goes, yeah, I don't think we need a coach.
Yeah, that was like day one.
So what are you talking about, Steve? We saw day one. NBA inside the NBA was like, these guys said they don't even coach. That's kind of wild. Look at where we are now. It is what it is. I deserve this, Randy.
Yeah, because they got rid of Kenny Atkinson, and then they went to Nash. That was Vaughn. My thing is that is it strange that Udoka could be the next head coach, and Boston's like, all right, we don't want nothing for him anyway. Like, all right, my coach, you got to give me a draft pick, something. They're like, nah, you can. We'll give you permission. And if it all goes well for you, then you just take him off our hands. They just don't want nothing with him. Don't want no draft pick, no bread, no nothing, no players, no trade. Like Doc Rivers, he's like, all right, if you figure it out, we'll just let him walk.
Boston had enough, and I think he clearly.
I mean, they're doing pretty well without him. I mean, I know it's early. But
no, they're fine. They clearly wore out his welcome. I just think that
4-2, yeah, 4-2.
Yeah, I think to be honest, I think Ime was just and I want to make sure I say this as clean as possible. I think from I am the NBA whisperer. I just pick up that he was being a man in an environment where he had a lot of options. He was being a man in an environment where he had a lot of options and people didn't like it. And it was all consensual. It wasn't forced. People didn't like it. People were jealous and had to make an example out of him. And they warned him from what I read and saw. It looks like they stepped him, was like, yo, chill. And he was like, I ain't doing nothing wrong. I'm just, I'm just, And they was like, no, you got to go. So now we're here. And I clearly say this. If the Brooklyn Nets pick up Ime Udoka in the next week or so, the success for the Brooklyn Nets would be going to the Eastern Conference Final. Not the playoffs. No. A success would be going back to the final this year.
With the same team that you see right now today.
Yeah, obviously, the team could get better or worse, trade deadline, what have you. I'm just saying, as constructed now, if Ime takes this team to the Eastern Conference Final, he's not coach of the year. he's not coach of the year. And listen, I'll give him the award 2 times. Like, yo, here's one. Here's one for the beginning of the season. Here's one for the end of the season. Here you go. Just put those 2 on your mantle. Let's call it a day.
I don't know, man. This whole shit is crazy. Just seeing the dominoes fall with Nash, and now with Udoka coming at some point in time, seeing how the players react going forward, see how they get the energy back in the building. Many people have this team in the conference finals. Many have this team in the NBA finals. Some have it winning the whole thing. But before we wrap up, it's just like you're seeing a lot of big name teams struggle out the gate. Brooklyn, I know they got their own problems, but you see they're 1-5. You see the Warriors are fucking 3-5.
We know why.
All these title contenders are just struggling right away. Like,
except one team,
Milwaukee. But surprisingly, Milwaukee, the Cavaliers are 5-1. But I know Milwaukee's more of the title contender in your mind. I know Cavs.
Let me tell you something. The Cavs may make the Eastern Conference Finals.
The Cavs are tough, and they're doing this without Garland too.
The Cleveland Cavaliers may make to the Eastern Conference. I would not be surprised if they made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. They have 3 people that you can put in the corner and say, "Give me 2. Get out the way." They have 3: LeVert, Garland, and now Donovan Mitchell. 3. So God bless. Come playoff time, where you trying to when all hell's breaking loose and you need points. We got 3 guys I can give you. And then I got a guy in the back called Jared Allen that if you try to score, he's going to be right there waiting for you.
And they got Mobley. And they got Kevin Love off the bench. And they still got Rubio still hurt. They got Okoro and Osman. And
listen,
I like them.
They are 6, 7 deep. Easy. Mm-hmm. God bless the Eastern Conference. And they're young. God bless the Eastern Conference.
You'll take them over Boston in a playoff scenario?
I want to see that. I want to see Garland against Marcus Smart. I want to see Jason Tatum against LeVert, and I want to see Brown against Mitchell. I want to see those matchups. I guts to have it. I need it. I need it for the culture. For the culture.
That can't be your conference finals. I know you got the Bucks. So I mean, you got the Bucks against Cavs or Boston. It's gonna be one.
Once again, if that happens, I mean, whether if it's Milwaukee versus Cavs versus who else?
Boston,
right? Boston Sixers,
and they still don't have Middleton.
The African Prince, the best player in the NBA, is just doing what he's supposed to do. The best player in the NBA.
Making it look light.
Say again?
He's making it look light.
Oh, my goodness gracious.
Too easy.
It's normal. 40, 12, and 8. Oh, I'm sorry. Let me add that. Sorry. I missed the 40, 12, 8, and 3. Come on, bro.
Let me see his stats, before we wrap up.
Dude's giving you 40, 12, 40, 16, 8, and 5, 3.
All right. On an average this year, 6 games, 34, 13, 5. 34, 13, and 5, 1 steal, 2 blocks.
Come on, yo. Come on, yo.
And he's doing it in 34 minutes a game.
That's MVP numbers. That's MVP.
Oh, yeah. No, we picked Luka, but Giannis is always going to be in the conversation. Now
last 3 years, he's turned the corner. Last 4 years, he's turned the corner. Now, we can't talk about he ain't got no jump shot. We can't talk about the wall that stopped Giannis.
Mm-hmm.
You can't stop him. So I see Milwaukee being there again. It's just a matter of which team is going to offset what Milwaukee's doing.
And it's dangerous. Is even if you double him. They got Drew Holiday chilling out there. They got Middleton. They got Brook Lopez making 3, 4 threes a game.
My God, this is what LeBron had with the Heatles. You try to double LeBron with the Heatles.
Shooters. He had the Mike Millers in the bad.
Or even Orlando when Orlando had Dwight Howard at the time. Yeah, we have 4 shooters. Mm-hmm. 4. This guy has shooters all over the place. If you double him, Middleton's hurt. So obviously, and that's the thing. If they're full strength, Middleton give you a 3. Holiday will give you a 3. Lopez will give you a 3. And they got guys coming off the bench that'll give you 3s. So it's
Grayson Allen. They got George Hill. Ain't Pat Connaughton still there?
They are 8 or 9 deep.
Yeah.
They can play small. They can play big.
Ibaka.
They can play small. You didn't throw in your
Matthews.
Porter. You even throw your no.
Oh, Portis and Matthews is there too.
Portis.
Yeah, Bob Portis.
I wish Portis did this with the Knicks, but whatever.
It's the right fit. It's just the right time and the right
environment. The environment wasn't the right fit, but he got his ring and
Yeah.
And I thought the trade for PJ was going to hurt. It didn't. God bless. They didn't miss one beat. So it's going to be interesting to see what the East looks like. And I like it like this, where there's just every team you turn on is going to be a fight. It's going to be some players giving you the business. I like that about this NBA.
Last point, I know we've seen Portland, Utah be at the top of the West right now still. But now you got Phoenix 6-1, Portland 5-1. I know Damon's out with a little calf injury, and Utah is 6-2. Even the San Antonio Spurs are 5-2. So it's looking a lot different. Like I said, your title contenders, your conference finals people like Warriors and the Clippers and Denver, all in the middle, though near the bottom, and some teams who you thought were going to be at the bottom or not have a good year so far are at the top. So that's where we at for the West. So obviously, East has Milwaukee and Boston, Cavaliers. Philly looks a little shaky right now. Chicago is near the bottom. Brooklyn, obviously, it's early. Toronto's doing pretty well. Siakam just fucking.
Siakam is doing what Siakam is doing what Africans do. We Africans just love to perform for you all, and as you can see with Giannis, and Siakam is doing work in Toronto. Shout out to the T Dot. What's good, guys? If he was playing for a team in the States, he'd probably get more attention. But because he's up there, up in the North, unfortunately, he's not getting that much attention. But he's doing work. Shout out to Phoenix Suns, though. It looks like Devin Booker saying "F everyone." That's what it looks like to me. It looks like Devin Booker saying, "DeAndre."
And this is with CP3 getting like 10 points a game only.
He said, look. Mamba mentality. Look, I don't have time for your shenanigans. If you don't want to play, get out of my face. Chris Paul, we can play. You get hurt, you slow down. Don't worry about it. I got this. Everybody else, come with me. That's a leader. That's an MVP of the team. I love what I'm seeing from Booker. I'm surprised that they are doing this. Obviously, Aiden's been out in and out, and obviously the situation with Monty and Aiden, whatever. So I thought it may throw him for a loop, but Booker saying no. This is what's going to happen, and we're sticking to it. So shout out to the Suns. I hope they continue to do their run.
So on that note, you can find Denny Blanco on both IG and Twitter at Sir Denny Blanco. Find myself, Randy J. Cruz, RENDY. The letter J is CRUZ. Hopefully, we don't have to pay $8 a month to be verified, but or keep being verified. Yeah, it's just crazy. Podcast on ballislife.com. If you want to watch it, go to youtube.com/ballislife podcast network. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show some love to the program. Denny Blanco, my man, always appreciate it. It's in the game. We out.
Ball is live, you heard?
Yes, sir.